Hey, hello everyone, this is Stuff. You're watching Stuff HD, and today I wanted to take a quick moment. I wanted to make a video basically, and I didn't know what to do. And I remember last time I had told you guys I would tell you about my experience at Best Buy, my horrible experience. Uh, so I figured, hey, why not make a video about that? Now I already talked about this on the podcast, so if you heard that on the podcast, you can probably just skip this one because there's nothing new. Unless you're that bored and you want to listen to it again, you're more than welcome to. So anyway, Monday, or sometime during the weekend last week, I had gone to Best Buy and I purchased Microsoft Surface Pro 6 with the keyboard, and you know the computer itself is $899. The keyboard is $130, and you know I was okay with that. But then I saw the Black Friday deals by Wednesday, I think it was. Yeah, by Wednesday I saw the Black Friday deals, and I was like, oh, they actually happen to have a deal on a bundle where is the Surface Pro 6, the exact same one that I have purchased, plus the keyboard already included for $799. Now, I have paid over $1,000 just a couple of days ago. Now it's $799. I'm like, okay, I know I have until like February to return this. So yeah, I want to go ahead and do the exchange. Now, originally I had tried to contact Best Buy and see if there was any way they could just like refund me the difference, because I'm like, well, it's basically the exact same thing. But no, I get it. It's two different SKUs. To me, it's a little bit silly that that I had to return my used product in order to get the new one, but whatever, I get it. Yeah, they are technically different. Um, so anyway, Wednesday night I went to Best Buy to do the exchange, and yeah, I explained it to the guy over there, and everything was cool at first. Like he understood. He's like, "Oh yeah, definitely, it totally makes sense. You're like saving $200." So he went over to get the new tablet, the one that is on sale, and then he came over and he started doing the exchange. And there was a moment where, you know, I've been to, like, I don't return things very often, but I've had bad experiences in the past where you know when somebody messes up, you know how it is. They start calling people over like, hey, you know, wow, look at this. So I knew the guy had messed up, and but you know, whatever. He called a co-worker to see if she could help him out, and she wasn't able to help him out. Then they called the manager over, and the manager was trying to work over there on something, and and all of a sudden the manager is like, well, you can't do exchanges on .com orders, because I had originally, normally what I do is I purchase on bestbuy.com and I just go pick it up. So I heard them saying that, but I was like, huh? Like, what the heck is he talking about? Because I know I've done exchanges before. So then he leaves, and the guy comes over to me and he's like, yeah, the thing is you cannot do an exchange on a .com order. So I'm like, okay, that doesn't sound right. And I was getting annoyed just because it was one of those situations where you know the manager just kind of made that up because whatever happened, they messed up, and he just wanted to be done with it. So he's just like, oh yeah, you just can't do that. So I had him call the manager over so that the manager could explain this to me. So the manager came over, and he's like, yeah, you just cannot do exchanges on a .com. So you know, I'm like, well, where, like, I know that I've done exchanges in the past. And he's like, well, no, you haven't, because you can't do it. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I know that I've done them. So then at this point, I'm getting very, very frustrated, because again, I'm like, okay, I know that you guys messed up somewhere, and you're like kind of trying to blame me. So then I'm like, okay, you know what? Whatever. I'll just take my laptop back and forget the exchange. I'll just take back the one that I brought. And then that's when the real fun started, because it's like, oh no, you can't do that because we already did a return. So I'm like, but I didn't ask you to do a return. So he's like, because okay, let me go back a little bit. uh, Part of what he wanted me to do, he's like, well, you cannot do an exchange, you can do a return and then you can buy the new ones. I didn't want to do that because one, it's like another $800, and it would have been very difficult for me to just pay another $800 and just wait for the money to come in, because I don't know when that money is going to come in. You hear plenty of horror stories. And it would have hurt me, probably, if I paid the $800, especially on on Black Friday. I don't know what other deals I was gonna find. So anyway, the guy is just like, well, I don't see the problem. He's being such a jerk. He's like, oh, I don't see the problem. And I'm like, well, the problem is that you want me to just pay you for this other one and just accept this return. And he's like, well, what's the problem? Why can you just do that? And I'm like, I don't want to do that. And then he's like, do you just not have the money to do it? So I'm like, yeah, I don't have the money. That's it. So he's like, well, sorry, like, talk to your bank because we already paid you for it, and there's nothing that we can do. Like, he's like, we already paid you. The bank is the one keeping your money now. So I'm like, you know very well that the bank is not gonna it's not gonna do anything. So I was kind of going back and forth with him because I'm like, okay, how is it possible that I came here to do an exchange? I was very clear that I wanted to do an exchange, not a return, an exchange, and they ended up doing a return against my will. And now they wanted me to pay for this other laptop, and if I couldn't pay for it, then I just had to go back with nothing. I'm like, I was, again, very, very upset, even though it didn't really affect me, because really, I'm like, okay, so I have to go back without the laptop if I choose to. No big deal. I have like another laptop. I have my MacBook, and I have like 3 other computers here that I can use. Like, but I'm like, well, what if I didn't? Like, what if this was my only computer? So again, I'm like going back and forth with him, and he's obviously he keeps like he keeps just basically blaming me, repeating over and over and over that you cannot do an exchange on .com orders. And he starts being even a bigger jerk. He's like, you know what, from now on, whenever you come over here to do a return, I'm gonna take care of you personally, because I was telling him that it doesn't say anywhere on the website that you cannot do returns on .com orders, or at least I don't know that it says it anywhere on the website. I asked him to find it. He couldn't find anything. And then I was asking him the obvious question. I'm like, well, if it's true that you cannot do an exchange on .com orders, wouldn't that be like the first thing that your employees check? Because honestly, from the beginning, had the guy just told me like, oh, sorry, sir, there's a .com order, you cannot do an exchange, knowing me, I probably would have argued, because I'm like, I know that I've done these before, but whatever. At least at that moment, I would have been able to be like, you know what, just forget it. Then I'll come back after Black Friday and then decide if I want to do this or not. But no, like, they never said anything like that to me. So again, I was going back and forth with the guy. He's like, oh, every time you come, I'll do the returns for you, but you better be ready because it's gonna take about 45 minutes because I'm gonna go through every single detail with you. And I'm like, wow, this guy is seriously like, not once has he apologized for the mistake that they made. I'm like, how is it possible that somebody comes here with a computer to do an exchange and they have to leave with nothing? And again, what if, like, this is what I kept thinking, what if it's my only computer? Like, what if like, you're literally telling me then that I have to go the whole weekend without anything because you guys messed up? And of course he's like, no, we didn't mess up, like, you just cannot do an exchange on .com orders. So it got to the point where the guy was getting really upset with me, and he actually told me like, look, we can't keep going back and forth all night. you need to either buy another computer or you're gonna have to leave. So when he told me that, I'm like I've been a loyal Best Buy customer for like so many years, and this guy is just telling me that I have to either pay for this or leave. And at this point, I'm also a little bit afraid because I'm like this guy is gonna call the cops on me. And I know very well that the cops, they're gonna come with just one mission, get me out of the store. So, but I'm also stubborn, and I'm like no, this cannot this cannot end just like that. So then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have to talk to your manager because this is not working for me. So originally my idea was that the guy would just give me the manager's phone number and that I would go home and call him, but it turns out that his manager was there, the general manager. So he called him over, but the manager was supposedly out doing something. He would be back in about 10 minutes. So I'm like, okay, I'll wait, no problem. I even got out of the way so that other customers could do whatever, because this was all happening right there in front of other customers, which was also very inappropriate, but whatever. So when the general manager comes over, he right away he's apologizing. He told me that indeed you can do exchanges on .com orders, which I'm like, yeah, I know, and that they have made a mistake. So then he, again he apologized. He admitted the fact that he made a mistake, that they made a mistake. And then he tried working with me. He told me like, look, it's true, we did a return, and once you do a return, you can't, we can't stop it. Which to me, it's kind of weird that the tech company cannot do a stop, but whatever, maybe they just can't. But then he told me, what I can do is, since there's a Black Friday special, I can promise to honor that price later if you decide to come back and buy it. So he wrote on his business card, he gave me the information, he wrote his promise that he made to me, he signed it. He even gave me a $50 gift card. And I was still a little upset because I'm like, it's still kind of ridiculous that somebody can come with a computer. I'm like, if you went to meet somebody at, I don't know, at Starbucks because you're going to trade a game or whatever, or trade something, and that person is like, you know what, I'm just gonna take that and I'm going to wire you what that costs, and then you can just wait for that. And then it's like, oh no, sorry, I can't give it back to you because I already sent you the money. You wouldn't accept that. Like, you would call the cops on that person. Of course, as a customer, we can't call the cops on Best Buy, but they can do that stuff. So I'm like, okay, whatever. At least this guy apologized. He admitted the fact that they made a mistake. So I'm like, you know what? Fine. I'll leave it at that. Which I probably would have done a long time ago had the other guy done the same thing. So I'm like, that's a big difference between managers, Like, somebody that doesn't have a clue how to manage, he goes and he tries blaming me. And I'm like, I did nothing wrong here. Like, everything that I did was legit legal. So yeah, the other guy, he was very kind. He like I said, he apologized, which really at that point, that's all I wanted to hear. Just an apology, like, look, I'm sorry, we messed up. And then he worked with me, and I did end up going back on Saturday. And this actually all ended up working out better for me because on Saturday they had the black version of the Surface Pro. I put a skin on it, but it's black. Which is the 256 gigabyte model. They had it on sale for $1,000, which was $300 off. So I ended up buying that instead. But yeah, it was just a very bad experience. So that is my story of my experience at Best Buy in Racine. Manager Nick, you suck. Manager Pat, you alright? And yeah, I wonder, have you guys had any similar experiences? Was I doing something wrong? Like, I don't feel like I did anything wrong, because I'm like, okay, like I know that I can do what I went there to do. Actually, Best Buy, when I had called them over their phone, because I wanted to do the I wanted them to just give me the difference, because I'm like, I'm trying to save you guys from having to take a return item and then give me a new one, because I'm like, I'm happy with mine. I don't need to do the return. They are the ones who told me to go into the store and do the exchange, because that was the only option that I had. So yeah, I wonder if any of you guys have had any similar experiences with Best Buy or any other store. I just hate the what's the right word, the how powerless you feel when these stores decide that they're tired of you. I'm very glad that I actually thought of asking for the manager's manager, because otherwise that guy, I'm telling you, that guy would have just called the cops on me, and who knows what would have happened then. So anyway, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys have experienced, and yeah. All right, I'm out of here. This video is way too long for this story. I'm sorry about that. All right, y'all take care. Bye.